In this video, I'm going to go over how to identify the two species of bears that we have in Montana. So, these two skulls are both bears, and you can tell that they're bears for a couple of reasons. First of all, they have these big canines, so you know that it's a carnivore. If you look at the teeth, the molars here are bunodont. So this is not a wolf or a mountain lion or whatever. It's more omnivorous. It has these big bunodont teeth. Also, compared to, say, another large carnivore like a wolf or mountain lion, it has a much longer head with a different shape than dog heads more generally. Here you can see the difference between the dog, which kind of has a long pointy snout, versus this, which has more of an elongated brain case. Now, between these two different bears, one thing you may have heard about is that black bears have less of a dished-in forehead than the grizzly bears. But if you're looking at a skull, that's a lot more difficult to tell. So some of the things that are helpful for identifying black bear versus grizzly bear, like in person, are less useful for a skull. The most useful thing is going to be this last molar. So this molar, right now I'm looking at this species here and I'm measuring it. It's about 24 millimeters long. Looking at this grizzly, you can already tell it's much, much longer. This one is about 38 millimeters long. So here they are side by side, just so that you can see, even if the skulls are about the same size, the grizzly bear back molar is much, much longer. Now, according to your key, the cutoff there is about 31 millimeters. So if it's less than 31, it's a black bear. More than 31, it's a grizzly bear. Now, to identify the skins, over here we have a bear that is brown, and here we have another bear that is brown, but this one is an American black bear. And the way that we're going to tell those apart is if you look at the claws, the back claws and the front claws are about the same length in the black bear. Compared to this grizzly bear, the back claws are much shorter than the front claws. The front claws are about twice as long, or maybe over twice as long. Now, there are other ways to tell bears apart, as you may have heard, given the shape of the skull, the hump on the back, the footprints. If we have something like this, though, the claws are going to be the best way for us to tell. One last note about bears, going back to the skulls now. The dental formula for bears is really tricky because bears have a habit of losing their teeth. They have many very, very tiny premolars, and if you look at a skull, like let's pick this one. In the space between here, there's a little tiny premolar there. There's another very, very tiny premolar right there. And there's another premolar that dropped out. Now, usually for most species, if there are teeth missing, you can tell and you can just count how many teeth are missing. For bears, that alveolus fills in, so using the dental formula on bears is very tricky, and I wouldn't ask you to just figure it out from this specimen because bears are weird like that.